I told you we didn't have a chance. We had no chance of advancing. I told you next year is the year that the Yankees are going to win. Without a bullpen, you don't have a chance. We have to reinvest in that bullpen this offseason. You can't win the championship without a bullpen. Luke Weaver has to go. He had a great run last year, but unfortunately, it's over. Six batters, and every single one reached base. So the Blue Jays are going to be red hot entering the ALCS. Toronto's going to advance. As I've said before, it's the Toronto Blue Jays with or without the equals 97. And Seattle's going to win their 97th game of the season to win the ALCS. Now the Phillies are ahead 3-0 right now. And it's looking like the Dodgers are going to take game two. The record is going to be 3-1 this postseason for LA. Otani's Camacho 31. The Dodgers, it can be 3-1 this postseason if the series is tied 1-1. So I believe the Dodgers are going to take game two. I couldn't really bet on game one because are the Phillies going to come back and win game two, or are the Phillies going to win game one and it's going to set up the drama for Major League Baseball where the Dodgers going to have to play from behind that 8 ball to catch up and try to win the series. So we'll find out if it is indeed a game 5 at Citizens Bank Park, or if they're just going to continue with that home field advantage, go for 4-0 at home because it's LA Dodgers. That's 40. So I guess the 4-0 at home is still in play, but no chance for the Yankees. It's going to be the nastiest 6-man rotation in all of baseball. Judge threw the game one. He swung at that ball 4. He was supposed to swing and miss that ball 4. The Yankees were not supposed to jump ahead to take the lead. I mean, if Judge did, then, Judge would get the credit and then all the blame would go to the bullpen. But obviously, with Aaron and Giancarlo and Cody, and you don't jump ahead, you don't tie the game at the least, then that's a bad look for your offense. So, yeah, Seattle is going to win the American League, and the Cubs are cooked. There ain't no championship for Charlie Kirk. He a nobody. There is no Charlie Kirk tribute. Y'all people are tripping. There's nothing believable whatsoever about the Chicago Cubs. Now, they did make it seem like there was something for San Diego if it was their 57th season, if the Pope is born at Chicago and the team named after Franciscan Friars plays at Chicago. That was still a nod to the Pope, but nonetheless, there was no underlying championship tribute to the Pope. So the winner of the World Series not connected with the Pope. I think they purposely synced up Padres with game one of the World Series just because it's their 57th season, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it was in the script for the Padres to be in the World Series. But I think the Brewers are going to look very dynamic before they take on the Dodgers. And as I've told you, the Canada, Canada's 24. Seattle can win their 24th playoff game to win the pennant series. And on the National League side, what gives it away is the fact that, well, yes, both the Cubs and the Brewers did phenomenal against the Dodgers. There's no doubt about that. But ultimately the Brewers have a better record than the Dodgers. The Cubs don't. The Dodgers have a better record than the Cubs. So you need the team in the NLCS that has a better overall record than the Dodgers, and that team is the Brewers. So now the Brewers got to win by at least 2 games, 3-0, 3-1, because the Brewers have to be the hot shot bet entering the NLCS. So the Brewers got to be red hot. They got to make this NLCS look very dramatic. They got to hype it up very good. So you got to have the Brewers dominate. And likewise, same thing with the Blue Jays. Have the Blue Jays coming in red hot. Now, it doesn't mean that Seattle won't be red hot. I think both teams will probably, I don't think there's any game 5 between Detroit and Seattle. We'll find out if Screwball steals a couple of games. But ultimately, Jays, Phillies, and Dodgers, Brewers are your 2 pennant series matchups. Those were the 4 teams to advance through the divisional series before it started.
Yeah.
And this closes the baseball. Arsenal are winning the league. Liverpool have 0 points out of 6 available points in matches at the City of London this year. Now, the other teams that Liverpool have to face that reside in London are West Ham, Fulham, Tottenham, and Arsenal. But they're 0 points out of 6 in matches played at London. Now, I believe this is an underlying tribute